Well, I mean, Thoreau himself describes it in writing as, nothing special, right? I think I'm gonna misquote him, of course, but he says something along the lines of like, it's an everyday pond in a very normal or typical Massachusetts woods. It's not like the way that he writes about it. One would expect, the Great Salt Lake or, some magnificent vista where it's impossible to not be introspective and to feel small and to, to take notice. But it's the exact opposite.
Yeah, that is hilarious because I was going to say, from what I watched, like I just kept thinking, I can't wait to go there. It's the most beautiful thing, because it's shot so beautifully. And, he talks about the magnificence of it. And it's just mesmerizing. So it's just a pond.
Yeah. I mean, it's drab. But it was I think that was the interesting bit. We were taught Thoreau. We were taught Walden, at very least in high school, very poorly, I might add. And I think, in order to read Walden or to read Thoreau, I think that it helps to have some road under your feet, right? Some life experience. So we go there and we're walking around and we realize that we're going to have to heavily lean in to his process, the way that he writes about the things that he did. So we kind of figured right out of the gate that we were going to have to, to look at this place and these details through Thoreau's lens, rather than ours. And in doing so, it really opened us up to, the beauty that we've been missing.
And to clarify real quickly, I think it's important. When Chris was talking about Thoreau saying it's just an ordinary place, what he was referring to is how the masses, how society would see it. They would just walk by and say, oh, it's a pond with some woods with a lot of down trees. And it wasn't, it was the fact that Thoreau made a choice to live simply and deliberately and to look at things in a different way with a different emphasis. And the challenge was for us who, I don't know if Chris passed in his Thoreau paper in high school. I got it like a C-. My teacher said it lacked insight.
Well, you passed now. I'll give you a passing grade now. You got more than that. You got an A+.
For two very unlikely individuals. That day, I remember we were walking around going, how are we going to make this come alive? And when we say we, I'm a casual observer and occasional commenter on Chris's cinematography when we're out shooting. I provide suggestions, but he is the one who looks through that lens and says, I'm going to see the Jacob's ladders of the sun rays coming through the holes in a leaf on a tree. And that's what Thoreau would have seen. That's what the people walk by and rarely see or stop to see. And one quick mention, they have school trips there all the time from local schools. We went there as kids.
I was suspended. I missed that trip.
I went on that trip and it was just a field trip to get out of school. I remember, to be dead honest. But what we were told was now young kids come through the visitor center. They sit down in the little theater. They watch our 22-minute film. And the park rangers have told us how the kids scramble to line up to get across the street because they're so excited to go and explore based on what they saw in the film. And I hope that opens a world to them that they maybe are not seeing.
They get over there and then they're like, that John Denver was full of shit, man. I thought the
Well,
Rockies would be a little rockier.